We will have the best interest of the Cherokee Nation and our people at heart. We ask all these things in your name. Amen.
Amen.
Next we have roll call.
Julia Coates. Here. John Garvin. Bill England. Bill John Baker.
Here.
Jack Baker.
Here.
Harley Buzzard.
Here.
Bradley Cobb. Joe Crittenden.
Here.
Jody Fishinghawk. Meredith Fraley. Janelle Fulbright. Here. Chuck Hoskin Jr.
Here.
Tina Glory Jordan.
Present.
Curtis Snell.
Here.
Chris Soap.
Here.
David Thornton. Kara Callan Watts. Do we have a form?
Next we have approval of the minutes of May 16th and the May 26th regular session or special session.
I'll make a motion that both be approved.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. We will move to reports, and first we have Career Services and Diane Kelly. Good afternoon.
Apologize for being late. We had staff meeting, and I brought some of my people with me that were in the staff meeting. Since this is the Education Committee meeting, I brought Daryl Legg, our vocational manager, and also our on-the-job training manager, Kelly Forrest, who does our life skills training, and Landra Alberti, who does our work keys and GED testing, and Jan Grogan. I think you all remember Jan. She was over in higher education. Well, Jan's over in my shop now, and she's doing our associate degree programs, and she's doing our vocational working with Daryl. Ramona Holt. Ramona's coming in the door. She's our academic manager and vocational manager at Talking Leaves, and then Dennis Carter. And the reason that I brought them with me is because they're going to tie in with my report, because I believe in letting you know about all the good positive things that's going on. And we did a report last week on what we were actually doing out there in our field offices, and I'll make it available, but I don't have it ready to give out yet. I don't have it doctored up, but we saw a total of 64,863 people walk through our doors in all of our offices this past year. And I didn't realize that Emma Gibson was working on our report, because we do a sign-in log at all of our field offices. And when we opened our office at West Salem Springs last week, well, I was telling them that we need to capture those same numbers there so that we can put that in our report. And we don't capture all of the walk-ins that come over at Talking Leaves. We don't capture the walk-ins that come in over to our Career Literacy Center. So there was some areas that we realized that we weren't capturing. Even our tarot office, we don't even have a sign-in sheet up there, but they're providing services as the people come in. And this was just from all of our field locations and the office here in Tahlequah. And what was so interesting was that the two offices where the majority of the people are coming into, there's 15,668 people that visited the Stillwell Tribal Complex. And we attribute that to the fact that the employment service is there in the same office with us. In Tahlequah, it's 28,069. And then the office closest to the Stillwell number was Jay with 5,854. And Pryor came in with 4,852. So, you know, we have to look at those numbers to determine where we need the coverage. So, with that, I just wanted to tell you about Daryl Legg. Daryl took over our academic vocational program back about a year and a half ago, and he has also taken on our OJT program. We had a conference call with the Department of Labor week before last, and as I call your name, stand up. So there you are. Daryl has more contracts in the pipeline, plus we have more people than any state in the United States with the OJT NEG. Colorado was creeping up on us, but when we started looking at the numbers, we actually have more. That's pretty good, an Indian tribe having more in their pipeline than any of the other states. So he's from Sequoia County. I better throw that in there for David and Janelle. Kelly Forrest is from Cherokee County, and Kelly's worked in our department as a teacher over at Job Corps, but she took on our life skills program when we started our day work training program, because we realized that there was a need for these people to go through at least 3 days of extensive training on work ethics, how to report to the job on time, being punctual, being appropriately dressed, so on and so forth. And she had developed a curriculum. And then this past summer, she went to New York and got certified as a life skills instructor, along with 3 other people that work with her. And Kelly has been doing this past year, and we have seen where it's made a world of difference and impact on these people that are coming in for training. So with that said, I just wanted to share that with you, with what Kelly's doing, which is educational and training. Landra Alberti. Landra is our GED teacher, or no, not teacher, she's our GED testing examiner. And she's certified through the state of Oklahoma. And with some of the schools that have eliminated their GED programs, they've eliminated that testing component. She's picked up some of the other areas to test when she does our testing. And one of the things that we've been working with the State Department of Commerce on is getting people certified for work keys. Landra has turned in more work keys assessments than anybody in the whole state of Oklahoma. She's turned in over 2,161 work keys assessments. So I just wanted to share that with you. She does that in addition to the Mouse certification and the GED testing. So she's a pretty busy woman. Jan Grogan. Where are you, Jan? Jan joined our team, and she's meeting with Greg and those associate degree programs in the health area. Those are all coming over to our shop so that they can be worked in with our vocational training, because they're 2-year associate programs and our vocational piece of it. And we are very pleased to get Jan, and she's part of our management team, and she's been working very closely with Daryl, helping us with our job fairs and everything. Ramona Holt.
And where is she from?
She's from Cherokee County. And Ramona Holt is also from Cherokee County. Ramona is our academic and our vocational manager at Job Corps. And we hosted the Job Corps centers in the state of Oklahoma. We had over 70 people at our Job Corps center Friday morning. We did in-service training with them on our life skills. And Talking Leaves Job Corps has been identified as a life skills training center, and it will be spotlighted at the International Learning Styles Conference in July at the Broken Arrow NSU campus. And Ramona has been able to turn our statistics around in reading and math gains, and it's very evident by the way she's converted these classrooms into Learning Styles classrooms. And so the other centers came to Talking Leaves Friday morning. They were here till about 2 o'clock, and we fed them lunch, and we had that going on with the summit. So we just had a whirlwind of people over at the campus Friday, but we were able to convince them that that's helped our stats go up, and they were very impressed. And I just wanted to commend her for all her hard work. Puts in a lot of long hours. Dennis Carter's the last person I wanted to introduce, and Dennis came to us from Job Corps. He moved over to the Taro office, and then we moved him down to our OJT NEG, so he's taking care of all of our contracts in that training component. He also oversees our Jobs Well Done website. I'm sorry, couldn't even think of it. Senior moment. Anyway, the website, and he reported that we're getting probably about 20 emails a day and about 20 phone calls from all over in regards to this, and we're filtering them to the C&E businesses as well as to the government side, and that there's about 4 or 5 that are directly related to career services and what we can actually do for them. We're able to take a business that we're working with and put that on our website. We had a job fair for Swans. They have 80 positions that are going to be open in their new $14 million expansion there at Swans. We had a job fair in Stillwell Tuesday morning, and then we went to Salisaw. And Daryl and I coordinated that job fair, and we were able to run 167 people through that job fair in just our offices alone that day. So we hope that we were able to get several people jobs as a result of it. So just wanted to share that with you. A lot of good things going on. So that was my presentation for training. Now I'll let you ask me questions.
Are there any questions?
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Great job.
Good job.
Next we have the education group and Melanie Knight, who is out of the room momentarily, I think. Is that right? Okay.
for the delay. I believe you have our written reports, and I'd be happy to answer any questions about any of those. Just very briefly, I would like to say June the 10th was our deadline in the College Resource Center, and we had 10 day workers who joined us, as well as the staff in the College Resource Center, and were able to process an immense number of people, about 850 people during deadline week. So it's an incredible amount of volume they had, and I just really wanted to thank the staff for their hard work. They stayed late and assisted people. A student didn't leave unless they just, did not want to complete their packet. I mean, the staff stayed and helped each one through the process if they were incomplete. So I really wanted to say my appreciation to them today. And I'd be happy to answer any questions about the written reports if you have any for me today.
Any questions? Seeing none.
Thank you, Madam Chair. One thing I did want to mention, I had spoken to you and the co-chair a couple of weeks ago about a resolution for Head Start. My apologies, it didn't make it over here. The resolution is to make an application for the program that is not an Indian Head Start program. It was the Head Start program previously operated by Cookson Hills Community Action. Berna is here. She can answer any additional questions about that, but I do have that resolution coming over. Maybe some point later in the agenda it can be added and considered perhaps today. And again, my apologies, I allowed that to fall through the cracks, but our application deadline would be this month, later this month, if we're to apply.
Councilor Jordan.
Does it need to go to full council tonight?
It sure would need to go to full council, and so that we can apply, I think, later in June.
Even though we don't have the paper here, I would go ahead and ask that we amend the agenda to include it so that we can send it on to full council tonight.
Second.
Okay. We have a motion and a second to amend the agenda. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay.
We'll have that coming right over. Thank you, Madam Chair.
And next we have Head Start, and Ms. Thompson is here. And
I'll be happy to answer any questions you might have about my report or anything to do with the resolution.
would you go over the resolution with us a little bit and share
Okay.
some of it?
Basically, it is a program that probably most, if you live in this area, have heard that they have been in kind of assigned to a interim grantee, and the time has come up for other programs to write for it. It is a similar sized program. It's 615 additional children, and I underestimated on the grant clearance form to say there would be 65 to 70 additional staff, but I was had a rude awakening, and it's more of 100 to 115 more staff. They provided a tour last Tuesday of two of the facilities, Tahlequah and Sallisaw, and we have a lot of work to do to put our signature on the program, and I'll just leave it at that. But what we're doing is living with that application night and day, because it is a major undertaking. If we are awarded, it could be a year before we hear, because they have it. The timeline is so strict, and what they do in the negotiation piece of it is the last quarter. They won't lose any contact time with the children and families. CDI is the grantee that has it out of Denver, and they will continue to operate it through this next school year.
Councilor Jordan?
It would basically double your capacity,
Yes,
both in teachers and in
children.
children.
I think I added if we get it, in addition to ours, we'd have 1,505 children.
It would make you the largest Head Start program.
In the state.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
Councilor Buzzard?
And maybe I missed it.
We'll tell
How much is the grant for?
3.6 million thereabouts, plus the additional 880,000 non-federal share that we'd have to generate, which they do. They generate theirs the same as we do with public schools.
And then how long is the grant run for? Is that a year, or is it a recurring grant? Or?
They're revamping Head Start, even with us right now being a 33-year grantee. Eventually, we'll get to the point where we have to renew. It won't be indefinite anymore.
I see. So it's- okay.
But it is a different funding agency. It's a Region 6 program. It's not an Indian program per se. We would be a new venture, a tribal operation having oversight of a Region 6 grantee.
Thank you.
So it will be different.
Are there other questions, or?
We're excited about it.
Exciting, yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next, we have the leadership group, and Mr. Inlow is on the Remember the Removal bike ride with the riders. Is there anyone here from leadership today? No? We have their report here, I think that was just handed out. Okay. And cultural tourism reports quarterly, and in June is one of the months when they report, so Molly Jarvis is with us.
Thank you. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Sorry, I'm walking a little bit slow. I've been on the bus for the last 7 days. We took the youth choir and youth council out to North Carolina. It was a fantastic trip, and then there were some Cherokee Nation employees with us as well, but we did a wonderful tour, and for those of you who are interested, we'll be going again in October, and at the same time as Fall Festival, and that's when the Trail of Tears Association meeting will happen. So if you're interested, let me know, and we can give you more information about it. But it was great. I think the youth choir really enjoyed it, and the youth council learned a lot and got to know a lot of people. So I did want to point out the first bullet there on our report. It's my understanding that there was some legislation that was tabled about naming of buildings, and wanted to make the council aware that we will have the Ross School, or Rural School 51, adjacent to the Ross Cemetery that we've restored. We are converting it to a museum, and it will tell the story of Chief John Ross and his time in office, and we expect to open that around September, October timeframe, and would like to formally name it the Chief John Ross Museum. So I'm not sure what we need as far as notification, or I sent an email because it was my understanding that there was some legislation that was tabled.
I'm going to go to Councilor Hoskin. For this.
Okay.
I think you were the one who were sponsoring that.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Well, the legislation is tabled. We're going to discuss it more. I guess in the absence of that law, I think ideally the council gets advance notice of the name of the building, which it sounds like you've attempted to do. And I appreciate that. So, I mean, I think that decision has been made. I mean, it makes sense to name it that. I don't have
Okay.
any issue with that, but how far off until it's officially named?
It should be finished and completed, and with an opening probably September, October timeframe of this fall.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Okay. Councilor Soap?
Yeah, Molly, somebody had called me about some, I guess you guys did some radio ads that were trying to increase tourism or whatnot. How many of those did you have?
I don't, but I can get that number for you. And are you particularly interested
Yeah,
in radio?
I just like to listen to them. Yeah, I think it was what they were saying they were hearing over the radio, and I just was wondering if those were available for us to
Sure.
listen to and see
want-
what the content is.
Sure, we can give a digital copy to you of the radio ad. Absolutely.
Councilor Garvin?
I don't think this is in your department, but you may know the answer. We have some people in the Muskogee area that need to ride to the Hard Rock every day that work there.
Yes. I know that we have in the past, it would be the employee services group, but in the past they've tried to do some transit service. But who would I have them get in touch with?
Well, just tell them to call me.
Okay. I will do that.
Okay.
Do you know how many perhaps?
They know of 5 to
Okay.
start with, and I'm sure there's a lot more of that in the area.
Okay. Note of that.
Councilor Baker?
Yes, in regard to the opening, the dedication for we'll say the Chief John Ross Museum this morning, we have a Chief's Marker program, which we have never marked any yet. We were supposed to start with Chief John Ross, and I would think that could be done at the same time.
Okay.
but we were trying to get the family, Ross family involved in it, which they would like to be involved in.
Absolutely,
So I think it would be good to merge the two together if we can.
And do you have information about the marker program?
I believe that education
It-
is handling that.
Okay.
Are there other questions?
Okay, I think that's all.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
So we move to old business, and there is none. So we will move to new business, which would be the amended agenda item, this resolution that has just passed. Counselor Jordan?
I make a motion that we pass this on to full council tonight, and I would like to be added as a sponsor.
Second.
Okay, a motion and a second. Anyone who doesn't want to sponsor? Shall we all sponsor? Okay. All right. Is there any discussion? All in favor of passing this on to full council this evening, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. And are there any announcements? Seeing none, I'd entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
So,
All in favor?